How do you build a successful YouTube Shorts channel without showing your face? And more importantly, which faceless Shorts niches are worth considering in 2026?
Exactly, because starting a faceless channel sounds easy. You might think, I'll just find some viral clips, add captions, upload them, and wait for millions of views. But it doesn't really work that way. The biggest decision actually comes before you create your first video.
The podcast you just watched was created almost entirely with AI. No expensive studio, no professional cameras, no real podcast guests. And most importantly, you don't need to spend hundreds of dollars on microphones, lighting, or production equipment. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can create a realistic two-person AI podcast using a simple AI workflow, including the script, podcast images, AI avatars, human-like audio, talking video clips, lip sync, and final editing. And the best part? We're going to build the entire workflow using free or free-tier AI tools. So let's start from zero.
First, we need a conversation between two people. Instead of writing every line manually, we can use AI to create a realistic podcast conversation.
For example, let's say our topic is the future of artificial intelligence. Open your preferred AI writing assistant and give it a detailed prompt. Tell the AI that you want a natural conversation between two podcast hosts. One should be the male host and the other should be the female guest. The conversation shouldn't sound like two robots reading an article. Ask for interruptions, reactions, questions, opinions, short sentences, and natural transitions. For example, male, AI is moving incredibly fast. But do you think people are actually prepared for what's coming? Female. Honestly, I don't think most people realize how quickly things are changing. That's much better than simply making the AI read a blog post. The goal is to make the audience feel like they're listening to two real people having a conversation.
Now we need realistic voices. This is one of the most important parts of the entire workflow. Because even if your visuals look perfect, robotic audio can immediately destroy the realism.
Use an AI voice generator that can produce natural speech with realistic pauses, emotion, breathing, and different speaking styles. Create one voice for the male host and another for the female guest. Make sure their voices sound clearly different. The male voice should have its own personality. The female voice should have a completely different tone and delivery. And don't just generate one giant audio file. Generate the dialogue in separate sections. For example, male line, female line, male line, female line. This will make the editing and lip sync process much easier later. And with modern AI voice generation, the result can sound surprisingly close to a real human conversation.
Now comes the visual part. This is where my new workflow is different from the old method. Instead of creating a complicated studio scene,
we're going to use Google's AI workflow to generate the podcast environment and characters. Open your Google AI image generation workflow and create a detailed prompt. Describe everything. A professional modern podcast studio. Two people sitting across from each other. Professional microphones. Studio lighting. Acoustic panels. A cinematic background. Realistic skin. Natural facial features. Professional clothing. And realistic camera composition. Make sure you specify the format as 16:9 because this is going to be used for YouTube. The more detailed your prompt is, the more consistent your final result will be.
now we need our hosts. Create the male character and female character with a consistent visual identity. For example,
a professional male podcast host in his early 30s, modern hairstyle, smart casual clothing, sitting in a premium podcast studio, professional microphone positioned in front of him, and then create the female guest using the same studio environment and lighting. The most important thing here is consistency. You don't want one character looking photorealistic while the other looks like a cartoon. Both characters should belong to the same visual world. Once you're happy with the images, save the best versions.
Now we're going to make these still characters actually talk. This is where the workflow becomes really interesting.
Take the image of your first character and upload it into your AI avatar or video generation workflow. Then add the corresponding audio. The AI analyzes the face and audio and generates a talking video. The character moves naturally. The mouth follows the speech. The facial expressions change, and the result starts looking like an actual podcast recording. Now repeat the exact same process for the second character. Upload the female character, add her audio, generate the talking clip. At this point, we have 2 separate talking head videos, but we're not finished yet.
Now open your video editor. I'm using a simple timeline-based editor, but you can use CapCut, Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve, or almost any editor you prefer.
Import the podcast background, the male character video, the female character video, the dialogue audio, and any additional B-roll clips. Place the main podcast studio on the timeline. Then layer your AI character videos over the studio scene. Resize and position each character so they fit naturally inside the environment. Now, synchronize everything with the audio. Male voice? Show the male character speaking. Female voice? Switch to the female character. You can also use quick cuts between the 2 speakers. This creates the feeling of a professionally edited podcast.
Now let's make the video more interesting. Don't keep the camera on the 2 hosts for the entire podcast. Whenever they mention something visual, insert a relevant AI-generated video clip or image. For example, if they're discussing artificial intelligence, show
AI robots, computer screens, data centers, future technology, AI-generated interfaces, humanoid robots, or futuristic city scenes. These visuals can be generated with AI and inserted directly into the podcast. This makes the content much more engaging and helps maintain viewer retention.
Here's where we can make the podcast even more cinematic. Instead of keeping both characters completely static, generate short video clips with subtle camera movement. For example,
a slow camera push-in, a slight head movement, natural blinking, small hand gestures, a character looking toward the other person, and subtle body movement. The trick is not to overdo it. Real podcast videos don't have crazy camera movements every second. Small movements actually make the AI-generated footage feel more realistic. Now, apply the lip sync process to the dialogue. Each character should speak only when their audio is playing. When the male host talks, the female character should be listening. When the female guest responds, the male character should react naturally. This is what makes the final video feel like a real conversation instead of 2 unrelated AI clips. Now let's polish the video. Generate automatic captions. Use a clean, professional caption style. Don't cover the characters' faces. Keep the captions large enough to read on mobile. Next, add subtle background music. Keep the music very low. The voices should always be the most important element. You can also add small sound effects when appropriate. But remember, professional doesn't mean adding effects everywhere. Use sound design to support the story, not distract from it. And that's it. We've gone from a simple idea to an AI-generated podcast script. Then we created realistic podcast characters, generated human-like voices, created the studio environment, turned static characters into talking AI avatars, generated video movement, synced their lips with the dialogue, added B-roll, added captions, added music, and finally assembled everything into a complete YouTube podcast. And the amazing part is that you can do this without owning a professional podcast studio. No expensive cameras, no expensive microphones, no physical location, and no need to find guests. You can create the entire production from your computer using AI. Of course, AI-generated content still needs human direction. The better your script, prompts, voice selection, editing, and storytelling are, the more realistic your final video will feel. So don't think of AI as something that replaces creativity. Think of it as your production team. You provide the idea. AI helps with the production, and you control the final result. If you want, I can also give you the exact prompts I used for the podcast characters, studio image, AI video clips, lip sync, voice generation, and B-roll, so you can recreate this entire workflow yourself. And if this tutorial helped you, make sure to subscribe to AAKI Studio for more AI tools, tutorials, and YouTube automation workflows.